One of the most popular questions for all four-wheel drivers: which tires should you get? The all-terrain tire or the mud-terrain tire? And in this video, we will discuss how each of these types of tires differ and help you decide which is the better option for your vehicle in the terrain that you are going to encounter. Stay tuned. Hello, I'm George. Welcome to the channel, and today's topic is tires. And this is a very important topic indeed. Don't believe me? Well, think about it. Regardless of what kind of rig you're running, what kind of 4x4, the only contact you have with the ground is through the tires. So this will pretty much determine what kind of performance you can expect from your vehicle. So, today, on one side, you have a very typical, I would say, mud-terrain tire. By looking at the tread design, this is a very typical MT tire. On the other side, you have a very popular and very capable option for an all-terrain tire, which is the Wrangler DuraTrac. But this is also an all-terrain tire. And this is also a mud-terrain tire. And believe me, there is a world of other tires in between these. Some, called all-terrain tires, are even indistinguishable from road tires. So as you can see, these all-terrain versus mud-terrain are very broad terms and are not good enough to help you decide. We can't just say get any all-terrain tire or get any mud-terrain tire and expect this recommendation to be sufficient, because they're just too different. And I'm also not going to tell you to get this or that model in particular, because this is not that type of video. So the real question is, how aggressive should the tread be? And by aggressive tread, I mean how deep does the tread go and how big are the gaps or the voids between the treads. Instead, you need to understand how less or more aggressive tires will behave on certain types of terrain. This will help you navigate the vast world of countless tire options and of course decide what you need depending on how you will be using those tires. Before moving on, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and turn the bell icon so you don't miss any of these videos regarding off-road modifications, four-wheeling tips, techniques, and awesome adventure trips. Thank you. Let's examine the different types of terrain, starting with sand. On sand, a more aggressive tire with these bigger tread blocks is more likely to just grid and cut into the sand. Especially on soft sand, this is going to get you bogged. So a less aggressive tire with a more smooth tread design is more likely and prone to just fly over the sand. I'm not saying that you cannot use an aggressive tire in sand, I'm saying that a less aggressive tire is just a better option. Next up, mud. And that's an easy one. That's why they're called mud terrains. The more aggressive, the better, because the wider gaps, the wider voids between the tread blocks means that the tire can easily self-clean when spinning in these conditions. Next we have rocks. And rocks, it's a bit of a tricky topic, because there are many different types of rocky terrain. Well, let's say you have a slope with these small jagged rocks. Then a more aggressive tire will be more likely to bite into those rocks and help you climb the hill. But on the other hand, if you're climbing these big smooth boulders and they have in the US, let's say the unique landscape of Moab, then a smaller voids between the threads will give you more contact surface, so a less aggressive tire will be the better option. Next we have snow. And again, snow could be very different because there are different types of snow. In deep snow, let's say fresh powder, you need a more aggressive tire. It pretty much behaves the same way as mud. So wider gaps between the treads mean easier self-cleaning and biting through the snow. But on a very, let's say, tightly packed snow or even icy conditions, then you need a less aggressive tire, and some all-terrain tires are even permeated with sipes, which gives you better traction because it has more biting edges. So again, it depends. Next we have gravel roads. Well, on gravel you need a tire that is tough, that is durable, and it's not going to get cut or damaged by some small rocks. And unlike highway tires, any off-road tire, all-terrain or mud terrain, will have thicker sidewalls, more plies, and will be more durable. So they're equally good. Both will do the trick, less or more aggressive. And finally, roads. Asphalt, tarmac, the black stuff, you name it. Of course, you're not picking off-road tires to go on roads, but of course you cannot avoid it. You will have some driving on roads. And there you need good braking and good handling on both dry and wet conditions. For that, you will need a less aggressive tire because it has these sipes, it has more biting edges, it has a wider contact surface, giving you better traction. So point goes to the less aggressive tires. Now, there are several other things you need to consider apart from how they perform on different kinds of terrains. First of them is noise. And noise relates to comfort, especially if you're going to drive longer distances. A more aggressive tire with this kind of tread design will be very, very noisy. And speaking of comfort, more aggressive, more off-road oriented tires will have thicker sidewalls, giving you a bumpier ride. The next thing you need to keep in mind is fuel economy. And fuel economy relates to rolling resistance. A more aggressive tire will have higher rolling resistance, meaning worse fuel economy. As soon as you move from this tire, let's say you switch to this tire, you can easily just kiss 1, 2 or even 3 of your liters per 100 kilometers goodbye. It is as simple as that. And one more thing, mileage. How long can you use your tires? How many kilometers before they go completely flat? Well, a more aggressive tire will have more wear and tear because of the smaller contact surface due to the larger gaps between the treads. That's why a more aggressive tire will have worse mileage. A less aggressive tire will live longer in most situations. These are the basics to understanding off-road tires, just the basics. Of course, there will be many different shapes and sizes, different tread patterns, designs with bigger or smaller treads, blocks and voids between the blocks, but hopefully now, as soon as you see a tire, you'll have some idea of what to expect from it. Today, the tire technology is constantly changing. You have different brands, they're using computer-calculated tread designs. They have different compounds, rubber compounds on the tires, and various sidewall thicknesses and plies of different materials. So of course, before making a final decision on a particular model of tire that you want for your vehicle, you need to look a bit more into it. Ask your friends, check some reviews, and make a decision for yourself. So, you cannot have everything with any tire. So which one should you get? Well, if you're going to spend more time on the road, you'll need a less aggressive tire. If you have another daily driver and you want to be prepared for the most extreme conditions, you get a more aggressive option. By being aware of what exactly you are sacrificing or gaining in each of the aspects that we talked today, hopefully you'll be able to navigate this wide spectrum of more or less aggressive tires and narrow down the options so you can choose the one that will be most suitable for your needs and your vehicle. Thank you for watching, consider subscribing to the channel, give this video a thumbs up, and I'll see you in the next one.